What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony and Michelle, and we are discussing episode 6 of House of the Dragon, The Princess and the Queen, and we have a 10-year time jump. So we're getting the adult versions of Rhaenyra and Queen Alicent in this episode. And the episode starts out in I won't even say it was a weird way, you get a black screen, you hear some moaning. And at first I was like, are they starting this episode out with sex? Which, I mean, it's a Game of Thrones show that wouldn't be out of the ordinary. But no, it's Rhaenyra giving birth. And let me tell you, I am a person who has had 3 C-sections. I did not have to go through all this pushing and all this other stuff. The sound effects in this episode, I did not need to hear all the squelching. And it was just, I was like, oh, okay, y'all giving us way too much, way too early in this damn episode. It was too much. Anyway.
I have nothing to say until we get to the next part.
Okay, you were gonna say it started out weird, but you said it wasn't weird. No, it was weird.
It was weird.
Started out weird, yeah.
It was weird. You get Rhaenyra, she's giving birth to this baby, which we find out later is the third child. And literally, right after she's done pushing, one of the household staff comes in and says, apologies, princess. The queen wants the babe brought to her now.
Now.
Say what?
Now.
Like right now.
Like
umbilical
they haven't
even
even
tied yet.
Right.
Now.
They haven't even cut the baby is literally still connected to her.
I was like, can she wait till the baby start breathing? I mean,
like now.
I was trying to figure out what the heck. I was like, what? Why would she need to? Why can't you walk down? Like literally, she's giving birth. But no, she was expecting someone else to bring the child to her. I was like, wait, hold up. I know 10 years has passed. I know y'all are probably not going to give us any insight into what their relationship has been for the last 10 years, but I felt like that one command just told us everything we needed to know from episode 5 to episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
You literally just gave birth to the baby. And you're holding this baby. Baby still got blood on it. Still got the umbilical, has not been cleaned. Umbilical cord has not been cut yet. You're having to get dressed so you can go present your child to the queen. And while you're getting dressed, you have to push your afterbirth out. You are in a regal gown, sweaty, bloody.
Wait.
But
in all fairness, she didn't ask her to bring the child. So
I'm sorry. This is my newborn child
to get dressed and do all
and
that.
You think I'm gonna let somebody else take the child? I haven't even had a chance to properly bond with this child yet, but the child has to be brought to you. No, bitch, I'm coming.
Right. And you can tell there's a rift in their relationship because if it wasn't, the queen would have been right at the door. She's coming in. Oh, my friend just had a baby. Let me check the baby. No, you sent for the baby. Literally, the baby took like 2 breaths. And then you want the baby to come.
I'm
just saying, she, Rhaenyra, she did fantastic. That girl she gangster because she was all, okay, I can get through this. In pain, the afterbirth, standing there.
Well, with no help from her good for nothing husband.
I was just about to say, with her insensitive ass husband talking about, did it hurt?
I took
her last to the shoulder
once.
But he knew it was ridiculous too. Like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, the poor woman couldn't even get up the stairs.
I mean, and think about it. He was trying to take the baby. He was like, let me hold him. She was looking at him like, no. He was like, okay, well, at least take my arm. Yeah. And she was like, I will not give her the satisfaction. And I was like, oh, that tells me everything I need to know about their relationship right now. And Laenor he's like, why is she doing this? I thought we were past this. Like, what the hell? So then you start seeing like, and apparently, I guess the people kind of, I don't know, you start noticing the way that the people are addressing her, you know, when they're calling her princess as she's walking through. And I feel like people are treating them kind of weird. It's like you can see in the background, like people are whispering in the background. So you don't really know what's going on. Like, okay, are they whispering because she's just had the baby and she's taking it to see the queen? No, we find out as soon as she gets there to the queen.
Well, some of it was whispering because I'm sorry, she should have been in bed.
Oh yeah,
she looked like shit walking. They probably like, what the why are they prancing down the hall with this baby and she bleeding on the floor?
No comment.
I mean, seriously, they didn't get close enough to the baby's head to be seeing what we about to talk about next, but literally from afar, why the hell is she walking? They just said she gave birth.
All I know is I checked out at it's coming. Oh, the afterbirth. Squish.
Was that too much for you, Anthony?
It's coming.
I'm good.
It's coming.
I'm good. I'm good. I think I told this story before when Michelle was having Bailey. She had a C-section too. The doctor said, no matter what you do, don't look behind the apron.
Yeah.
I said, what? Don't look behind the apron. Just focus on her. Soon as I heard something, I went and I looked. Oh, Lord. No.
So and from that and being drugged up, I don't understand what she is going through, but
I don't either.
She is walking around and she looked like she been through it. And she has been through it. To be all dressed up out of bed. Like,
but she a trooper.
Your uterus is still.
This the third one. Now, I wonder did Alicent do it for the second one?
Yeah, you know what? So. I would think so.
Not the first one.
Not the first one.
But the second one, she's like,
Yeah.
So by the third one, she said, I'm getting my ass up out this bed and I'm going with my baby.
And she's probably like, oh, I already know what this is about to be about. Which, we'll get to that later. Because I'm like,
I got some things.
We all got some things to say. So anyway, she and Laenor, they come to the queen's quarters, and first of all, Sir Criston Cole is now the queen's white knight, the queen's protector. And I was like, okay, we kind of saw that happening at the end of the last episode, but I saw a lot of comments on social media. They were like, wait a minute, you literally killed a man with your bare hands at the wedding of the princess, and you are still allowed to be in the King's Guard? Like, somebody was like, who the fuck was Alicent that she had that much pull? But I mean, I think there's a lot of, but still, it's kind of like if the king would have said, no, you killed somebody at my daughter's wedding, you got to go. Technically speaking, he should have been gone. And then, also in this episode, people were like, since when did Alicent have a seat at the small council table? There's just
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
mean, we can get to it.
So
that's anyway, why this episode called The Princess and the Queen.
So anyway, they get into the queen's quarters, and she's there being tailored in her green again. I guess she's taken to wearing green all the time now because that's pretty much what we see her in. But she looks
the kids in green too.
Yeah,
disrespectful. All right,
but she's looking like Rhaenyra. You should be in bed after your labors. Rhaenyra was like, I have no doubt that you would prefer that, Your Grace. I was like, oh yeah, there's some tension here. Tension. So let's talk about petty ass Alicent.
The shade.
She's just staring at this baby. she wants to hold the baby. Of course, King Viserys comes in. First of all, let me go back to that. If I see one more meme comparing King Viserys to Smeagol, oh my God, this man, first of all, I'm shocked that he's even still alive.
First of all, I was like, Michelle, he ain't got no arm.
I had missed that. I was like,
wait, what?
He's missing an arm.
Hold on. I got this on in the background. Wait a minute.
You didn't see his arm missing?
He missing an arm.
No, I missed that.
He missing the arm. They cut that arm off from last episode.
Oh my God, you are so right.
Right, I missed it too. I was
said,
like,
Michelle, his arm is gone. She's like, what? His arm is gone.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, they cut that bad boy off. That's probably why he's still alive.
Yeah, you might be right. Because he looked not long for this world in episode 5. And that was 10 years ago.
And it looks worse now.
Yeah. But you see the Grand Maester on the small council is the brother, is the black dude, the one who was trying to give him the poultice. So he's probably treating him much better than the previous
one. Maester. Yeah.
After a while, the king gonna start looking like the mountain.
The mountain was dead. Actually.
Well, he's pretty much gonna be dead. They're gonna be trying to keep him alive.
I hope not. So he comes in, and he's fawning over the prince, and then they have this little thing where she asks what the child's name is, and Sir Laenor says Joffrey, and I'm like,
when do we start naming kids after our ex-lovers? I mean, I'm just saying.
This is, yeah.
When we start doing that?
Well, I mean,
he was in love. I mean, that was the love of his life.
Name the dragon or the dog. You'll name a kid.
I think the issue I had though is he was murdered by Criston Cole. So why would you name your child in close proximity to Criston Cole after Joffrey?
Yeah, but you know what? Criston Cole, as we can see in this episode, he has nothing to do with the princess anymore at all. So I don't think it was, I don't know.
And you know what? We don't know what story they told. They could have said that he thought he was going to do something to the princess.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Don't know what was said. We just don't know. Like they covered up like, oh, we thought he was someone else or he was about to do something. We don't know.
Or if somebody saw him talking to Criston Cole, when he made those veiled threats, they could have said, oh, we feared for the princess's safety, or it could have been anything like that. So, I mean, I get it. But let's move on to the even more juicy parts of this scene.
Oh, it gets juicier.
Yes, it does.
First off,
the shade.
Viserys saying that the baby has Laenor's nose, and that little look that passed between Laenor and Rhaenyra. I was like, oh, okay. And the way Queen Alicent just keeps looking at them. She's just observing, and then she goes over to look at the baby, and she's looking at his hair. And the baby has brown hair. Now, of course, this is supposed to be a Targaryen baby. This is a baby between Velaryons and Targaryens. That baby should have silver hair. Yeah. Should have silver hair.
Should have.
She takes the baby over to Laenor and says, keep trying. Sooner or later, you'll get one that looks like you.
I see, and walks away.
I was like, the audacity of this bitch. And Laenor even looks, he cuts a look like, the hell? Really? But you notice, she said that shit to Sir Laenor and not to Rhaenyra.
She did. She knew better. But
still, the fact that she had the nerve to say that, and she was saying it so openly. And then, of course, you know, through the episode, we see this is not the first time she's raised this concern. Because what we learn is that all three of Laenor and Rhaenyra's kids have dark brown hair. Who else has dark brown hair that's in close proximity to the princess? Apparently, her new white knight,
literally,
is Sir Harwin Strong.
Sir Breakbones.
Sir Breakbones.
But see, before we get to that, we know it because he came to visit the baby. And all these looks.
Let me tell you, that was the weird thing, because he was in there, and Laenor, of course, is carrying the baby. He's in there with the kids, so I guess he's watching the kids while they're off doing their thing while she was birthing or whatever. So he's obviously very close to the household. He comes in and, you know, I know, but no. Okay, so I say that in saying, okay, it's one thing for you to be having an affair or an arrangement, whatever it is, with the princess. But obviously, from that one little scene, we see that Laenor is in the know. And,
very much,
you know,
very respectful too.
And it seems like they're both very respectful of each other. And of course, if you think about the last episode, the arrangement that she and Laenor had, you go do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing, you know. And apparently he has fathered all three of these children. Now, I do know that in the books, it's speculated, but it has never been confirmed whether or not those three children were his. Okay. So of course, they're giving us a little bit more background and a little more meat to the story in the show. But Laenor is holding the child, and then, you know, Sir Harwin congratulates him and all this other stuff, and then he asks to hold the baby. Laenor gives him the baby, and then he takes the other two kids, and he was like, yeah, let's go back to the dragon pit, and he leaves the three of them alone, Sir Harwin, the princess, and the baby. And I was like, oh yeah, this is obviously an arranged, you know.
But before that, though, how Laenor is treating the baby, like he's really like, this is my child. He's like holding, like, oh, you're so beautiful, it's my little baby, baby boy Joffrey, and he's like, Sir Harwin would like to introduce himself to the baby. Here you go. So I was just like, Laenor.
I mean,
he's okay with that. I mean, he just didn't have to do nothing. He didn't have to do what he didn't want to do. Right. He didn't want to touch her. He didn't touch her.
I'm going to say something, and y'all can laugh at me if you want, but they are not bastards because they were birthed in a legitimate marriage.
Yeah. So that's technically what the law is.
Yeah. So they're not bastards.
Nope.
So,
but the kids are gorgeous. These are some pretty kids.
Yeah.
But it was just, I was like, how? I was kind of wondering at first with the episode. I was like, so is the queen the only person who is suspicious of this arrangement? No, apparently the whole kingdom is.
Everybody knows. First of all, like you said, it's a Valerian and a Targaryen. Ain't no way those children coming out white with brown hair. Not mixed. Come on now. They
talking, but they don't want to die, so they just not gonna say nothing.
But you know, it's like Alicent, because Alicent had that conversation with the king, and the king was like, "Oh yeah, you know, I had a white mare, and the white mare or whatever went off." And
he said, "I had a white mare, and it ran off, and a silver stallion mounted it, and from that union came the most plain brown chestnut foal."
Yeah, and then Alicent, but did you see the act? Well, exactly. No one's seen Harwin and the queen have sex,
right?
So you can't just outright say this not Laenor's kids because you ain't seen it. You don't have firsthand knowledge. You just have rumor, conjecture, and circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, but you know what? I will say this:
really enough for a conviction.
Even without the brown hair, those kids are not mixed. So Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because there's what's the actress who was on the black actress who had two girls, and one of the girls is like a white girl with blonde hair. I can't think of her name, but she was on
I know what you're talking about, and I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is for the purposes of this show.
Well, and the purpose is okay, so I see a lot of those. Even
but you know
TikTok,
what?
You see a lot of you do. But guess what? Not all three.
But you know what? I will say
not
this
all
too.
three.
I will say this too. We do have to remember that Sir Laenor himself is biracial. So there is a possibility that his kids, I mean, at this point now, the children are 3/4 white, Caucasian,
and whatever you want to say. They're okay with that. They are okay with that. Alicent is okay with that. She ain't okay with that hair color.
Also,
and that wavy locks.
Also, George R. Martin has said that the genetics in his universe is not the same as in our universe. So it's a little weird anyway.
Well, I mean, even if you're looking at the genetics from our universe, there are these things called recessive genes that both parents could have. Now, I know it'll probably be harder on Rhaenyra's part, given the fact that she is the product of two Targaryens. But I mean, there's so many different ways they could have spun this if that was the case. But I mean, obviously, from the way that they're presenting it in the show, we are made to understand that these are Sir Harwin's illegitimate children.
Y'all trying to help them in the court a lot, but this is not going to help.
That could be why Daemon ain't nowhere to be found, because his two kids, they look mixed with the silver hair. So,
but even Alicent and the King kids came out with silver hair. And not her hair color.
Yeah.
So that's why she's looking like
Targaryen. Well, the Valerian.
Valerian.
Not
Valerian.
Valerian DNA is strong. That they did some stuff magically to make it that way.
And that's why we know that's not his kid.
Well, John's hair didn't come out like that. John came out.
Starks had strong genes.
The blood of the old men, of the first men.
Yeah.
The blood of the first men.
So you had two competing genes on that with John. So yeah, that's what happened.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying. But y'all trying to help everybody else know who kids those are. Come on, let's go.
But I guess the thing that,
except for her daddy, he blinded by love.
You know what? I don't think it's that he doesn't know. I think at this point he doesn't care. I think in this sense, it's like, you know what? I forced her to marry Sir Laenor. And apparently Sir Laenor's his choices, his tastes are kind of not secret. Like everybody knows that he prefers men over women. So I'm sure the king knows that too. And he's probably like, okay, you know what? She did what I told her to do. She married him. I didn't say she had to have children with him. I didn't say she needed to further the bloodline. I told her she had to marry him, and she married him. Now, obviously, he has no problems with claiming these children as his own, whatever the case may be. And nobody else knows whether or not, because who knows? Have they slept together just for the sake of saying, yes, the relationship has been consummated? We don't know. Probably not, because I don't view Sir Laenor as bisexual. I think he is like inherently gay, but you do what you got to do to keep up the pretense. So there's a possibility that could have happened. But I think Viserys
on the beach, though, she said, we're going to perform our duties as expected.
Yes, but
I assume that means try to have babies.
See, that's what I would assume too.
I would too, but I think she was like, just forget it. I got this.
but the thing, okay, this is one of those things I want to talk about. Like, come on, you know that you got to get it up at. Bring the brother in there to help you out, but you got to inseminate this woman and make her pregnant somehow, at least one time.
But I mean, think about it. Laenor could also be sterile. We don't know what the situation is. We don't know what the situation is, but whatever the case is, whatever arrangement they have, whether he was in the know that it was going to be Sir Harwin or not, or like I said, we didn't even get enough of that backstory in this episode to determine, okay, was this just an arrangement? Were they actually in love with each other, or did they actually like care about each other in that sense? I have the feeling that they did care about each other. Whether or not they were in love with each other, I don't know. But it was obvious he cared about the princess. He loved those kids. And he still had enough respect for Sir Laenor to not overstep his position in regards to, you know, that family. It was like, yeah, those are my kids biologically, but just like Rhaenyra said when she had the conversation with Laenor, you are their true father. And I think that's the way that all of them looked at it, and that was the arrangement that they had, and all of them seemed cool with it. So if they were all cool with it, right? So if they were all cool with it, why would Viserys come in and rock that boat? Viserys is like, look, she's happy.
Right. And that's his daughter. We already saw what happened when y'all kept trying to say that she was, you know, whoring around with Daemon.
And she didn't want to have kids anyway.
So he just happy. You understand what I'm saying? He just happy.
Right. So
he don't know. He probably may have suspected, but he is not finna claim that.
The only people who have issues are Queen Alicent.
Let's talk. Sir Can Criston we just talk about that, please?
They're the only two that have issues.
My issue is for her to be this friend that you had. I mean, like, what's your end game? I know what your end game is, but I'm just saying, as a friend, what's your end game? Because you want to keep bringing it up. I know what the end game really is. It's about her son being, you know, on the throne. But let's just stop from beginning. You want everyone to look at her, and her kids will be dead. Everyone will die. Is that what you want right at this moment?
Her end game is not for Aegon to be king. Her end game is for them to not be murdered.
Well, you're not helping your case. You're literally not helping your case.
Well, I think,
and she does, but she also wants her son to be king because that's what her dad told her she needed to.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say.
And that's what her goal is. So she's trying to undermine Rhaenyra's and everything that she does.
No, I think she's really just trying to protect her children.
No, she basically.
I kind of agree with both of you guys, because I think Otto did get in her head when he left. And he told her, you can either prepare Aegon to be king, or you can throw yourself at Rhaenyra's mercy. And I think in that instance,
it's too late for the mercy
for her. I don't even think it would have been 10 years ago, or if she had
10 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. If she had continued the path that she and Rhaenyra were on as far as mending their friendship, I don't think there would have been an issue. But when somebody comes and puts the notion in your head that someone that you loved and trusted could ultimately be responsible for the death of your children just to hold her position, I think for Alicent, maybe at first she thought, okay, but that's not who Rhaenyra is. And again, you have to remember, she went to the king and said this: it is not in Rhaenyra's nature to be deceitful. So when she finds out that Rhaenyra had relations with Sir Criston, in her mind, it's a betrayal. And if you lie to me about this, what else will you lie to me about? Will you tell me that my children are safe, but lie to me in order to secure your inheritance? And I think at that point, and I think part of that is paranoia too. You know, and I think it just got to the point where now over the years, especially because Rhaenyra is having children, she is calling them Velaryons, and now Jacaerys is supposed to succeed her on the throne once she takes the throne. Okay, so you can sit here and say Rhaenyra probably won't do anything, but what about her children? And I think it's interesting because you see in this episode at the beginning, Alicent's two boys and Rhaenyra's two boys, they seem to all be close to a certain extent. Now, there is the younger Targaryen who does not have a dragon right now, and they kind of pick on him. But still, you see that they're all kind of close. And then it's not until Alicent talks to her son, and she literally screams and shakes him and says, "You are a man half grown. You need to start worrying about this succession or you may forfeit your life." It's not until she gets into his head and really puts that there that he even starts acting different towards his cousins. So I just think a lot of it is paranoia with her. And she's just to the point where she's like, okay, you know what? I need to go ahead and secure where my sons are going to be. Okay, if their father is not going to name them heir, then I need to make sure that when the time comes, that people will rally to us instead of to her. And what's the best way to do that? To do what they tried to do at the beginning, destroy her reputation, tarnish her name, and make it look like she would be unfit to be a queen. And what's the best way for them to do that with women in there? Oh, yeah. So you've been hoeing around with this dude. That's not even your husband's children. Your children are not true Targaryens or Valerians or whatever. That's what the narrative is going to be. And then once they decide, okay, yeah, you're not fit to sit on our throne. Oh, guess what? We got these nice two boys over here who are trueborn kings trueborn sons to the king. They should be the ones on the throne.
Yeah.
Well, just to be clear, they're his nephews.
I understand that.
Not cousins. But that, and because later when she proposes the marriage between the daughter, Alicent's daughter, and Jacaerys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be aunt and
yeah.
Another aunt and nephew thing again. That seems to be very popular.
That would have been a good match too.
However,
we can just go back a little bit with Alicent. Like you said, it's paranoia. It's also betrayal because she felt like they were always completely honest with each other, and she wasn't honest. A little bit of jealousy there because she also had feelings, and also her situation is worse off, and her best friend gets to kind of do whatever she wants to. Also, all of these feelings combined in young people who haven't had the time to process the shit that's going on in their life. Your daddy been talking to you. He is now gone. So now you feel like I got to be the person rallied behind my dad, which he'd been put down in this episode. He was like, you're the only person who's been right there by my side, who's been truthful and honest. And she looking over there like, you fucker, my dad was too. No, he wasn't, but okay, whatever. So that all combined with maybe a little bit of paranoia, but she got a lot of her daddy in her.
She has a lot of anger. I think that's really what.
And she doesn't understand consequences until the end, when you realize when you run your damn mouth all the time.
I think she understands consequences, but I think what she didn't expect, and probably the same thing that happened with Rhaenyra, she didn't expect someone that she trusted and took into her confidence to turn on her in that way. He didn't turn on her as in, I betrayed you, but he has basically placed her in a net like, oh yeah, so there is no plausible deniability here. You said you wanted your dad back. And in order for that to happen, there has to be no hand. So
and she wanted justice too. You wanted justice.
I took care of it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Her dad knew when he did certain things. He knew when to play his hand, when to not to play his hand, and when, maybe this is going too far with playing my hand. I don't think she doesn't understand the game. Now she does. Yeah. I don't think she clearly understands the game because other people knew if I say certain things, people may do some things for me that I may not.
I think the problem is she probably understands the game. I think she underestimated the player. I think that's what it was. She underestimated Sir Larys because if she's sitting there, obviously they've gotten very comfortable with each other. I mean, she's taking dinner with him in her private quarters, which I'm like, is this appropriate for a queen to do?
Yeah, someone should say something about that because it's not appropriate.
Right.
It's not appropriate. It's not appropriate for the queen to be taking dinner with a single male like that. No, that is not.
It's not appropriate, but they said at the beginning, no one pays attention to him. Yeah. No one thinks he's worthy of doing like.
And I think anything. Right. And I think that's part of the issue too, because I think even though she takes Sir Larys into her confidence, I don't think that she thinks that he is capable of the things that he did. Like, you killed your own father and brother.
He never presented himself in a way that would make her think that he's
I understand that.
Harmless.
But if you know how the game is run, you just never know what people will do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're really not supposed to let people know what you're thinking.
No.
And she let him know what she was
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. If they've been confidants for 10 years and he's never done anything like that.
To play it.
Yeah, and he's never done anything like that. Why would she expect him to do something that extreme? You know, I think in her mind, she's thinking, oh, okay, you know what? Strip him of his titles. Make it Sir Harwin is an exile. You know, I'm thinking she's thinking probably along those terms. I don't think
send him to the wall. I mean,
right, send him to the wall. I don't think she expected, oh, I really miss my father. I miss his counsel to equal, oh, okay, I'm gonna go kill my father and brother so you can have what you want.
No, that's why she was looking like what she was thinking. Yeah. Oh,
she looked upset. But in other words, she left it open for interpretation.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't understand.
I don't think that was
understand her the word.
Oh no, we know it wasn't her intent.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying. That wasn't her intention.
But she gave him that. She gave him an opportunity to take advantage of her being vague and not specific.
You know, just how to say what you should say and what you shouldn't say. There's some stuff she shouldn't be sharing with him. Period.
She shouldn't be talking to him at all because she doesn't recognize him for what he is. He has gotten, like he said, he has gotten so close to her that she does not realize that he is playing a game.
And my point was being that she didn't know how to play the game. She's naive in the situation. Now she knows.
No, I think I'm like Hanako. I think she knows the game and is playing the game.
She underestimated the players. She underestimated him.
He was also playing too.
Right. Because now he's like,
know what she's doing.
He's like,
know what she's doing.
I did this for you, and now one day I'm gonna ask for something.
Now she's putting on big girl panties and really coming up to the poker table here. I don't think she was. She was at the kiddie table.
She was playing blackjack. He paying 5-card stud.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. She in her own little thing that she got going on and realizing there's a bigger picture here. And you just got to watch yourself, ma'am.
Yeah.
So now.
But, going back to before all of this. So, of course, she puts out these accusations and she's talking to the king. And what is it that she says to the king? She said, having one child like this is an accident. Having 3 is an insult. I've said this before, you forbade me to speak of it, but I have to bring it up now. Like, she has 3 brown-haired children. How can you not see what everybody else is seeing? And I mean, it gets to a point where Rhaenyra goes to seek out Sir Harwin in his quarters, and his father is there fussing at him like, you are making a laughing stock of us, because what happens is they're on the grounds. Sir Criston is training all of the young princes.
Not all of them.
Well, he's supposed to be working. He's supposed to be working with all of them, but obviously he favors Queen Alicent's sons and is training them properly. And he has like open disdain for the other 2 boys. And I'm gonna tell y'all now. I miss the days when we were in love with Sir Criston. I really do, because this episode here, I was like, you little bitch.
He is just Scorn lover. I mean,
that's what I posted. I made a post. I said, if Hell Hath No Fury was an Urban Dictionary post, here you go. Sir Criston Cole's picture would be there for the definition. He called her a spoiled cunt. I'm like, dude, this was 10 years ago. You really still hurting? Like, you fucked her one time. One time.
He's hurt. He's hurt. What did Joffrey call him? Cunt stricken?
Yeah, cunt struck. But I think too, maybe the thing that I don't know, maybe this is not what bothers him. Maybe it does bother him. But the fact that she approached you as in, okay, you can still be my lover while I'm in this marriage, and he turned her down. Now you got 3 brown-haired children walking around. So that's obvious. She's already giving it up to somebody else. I feel like he might be a little bit jealous about that too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, wait. But anyway.
And what's not helping him is Alicent on the side talking in his ear. I said, this is like an episode of me watching either Gossip Girl or Euphoria. I mean, come on, people. Come on.
She is definitely a serpent. Just kind of you and her poison to everyone. But yeah, anyway, so they're having this little training session on the grounds, and Sir Harwin says something to Sir Criston, and you can already tell there's bad blood between them. They can't stand each other. It's very obvious. So he starts saying something about the fact that he's mistreating Rhaenyra's sons. And so Sir Criston makes it so that, you know, both sets of boys have to fight each other. And he's very harsh with Rhaenyra's sons. You can see it. And when Sir Harwin said something to him about it, he was like, basically, he was like, you're taking this mighty personal. You know, you're acting as one would a cousin or brother or a child.
Or son.
Or son. And when he says that, Sir Harwin turns around, punches the hell out of him, and starts beating him. I was looking at that beating like, okay, so is Sir Criston about to get back what he gave out 10 years prior?
It seemed like it.
It seemed like it. But, you know, that was the reaction he was trying to get from Sir Harwin. Because basically in his mind, he's like, oh yeah, if he reacts to this, it's true. He's just
but another reason, right? And another reason he could act upon that is, I'm sorry, I had an issue with this too. You're mistreating the future king. You're mistreating the future king. You're treating royalty, the prince who is not going to be king. Mm-hmm. That's my issue. And that could have been Sir Harwin's issue. I mean, yeah, it is his kids. I'm just saying that could have been his issues too.
Yeah. But I mean, at this point, we already know Sir Criston has chosen a side.
I know, but I'm just saying, you mistreating again. It should be evident. Like, why do you mistreat those kids? And they're going to be one of them going to be the future king. Mm-hmm.
But because
we know, we know why. But
yeah, we know.
I would like for us to put a pin in Sir Harwin for a minute, because I want to circle back to a discussion.
Okay.
Dealing with Sir Harwin and Larys.
Okay. Well, we can go into that now, because I have a couple of things that I want to say about that too. So yeah,
okay,
what's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is, you know, we talked about Otto being, you know, great value Littlefinger. It turns out that, because I've heard the moniker for Larys is Sir Middlefinger.
Okay.
But we realize that he's actually the one who is very manipulative, like more so than Otto. And you know, when we talk about Littlefinger, is more like, I still hate saying the chaos is a ladder thing, but yeah, he's like, we're gonna do all these random things, create chaos, and whoever rises to the top rises to the top. That's Littlefinger. Larys seems to be very specific. Like, he's not dropping WMDs. He's sending surgical strike teams and picking his spots, dropping little lines to people to get inside their heads, like I did with Alicent. And it seems to be pretty extreme to take out his brother and father.
Right.
However, if you're looking at the long game and you're looking at if this does come to war, would it not behoove you to take out not only one of the strongest knights, but one of the strongest lords and one of the most powerful lords all at the same time? Because they're the family that the Strongs are in control of the Riverlands. So if you take him out, then you can somehow get someone on your side in charge of the Riverlands. So it seems like this is like a long game thinking about war. Like, yeah, I have an excuse now thanks to her. So not only do I have her in debt, but also open up the path to us possibly having an advantage in a war between the houses.
I guess I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the interaction between Lionel and his sons, because to me, nothing that I've seen so far would justify why you would basically murder your father and brother. I mean, the couple of times that we've seen him with Harwin, it seemed like they were brothers who got on pretty good. There was no contention. There was no strife. I know that he made a mention when he first met Alicent about, maybe about his condition and how he gets ignored. But I don't think that I've ever heard or seen a reference to him being treated cruel by either one of those two. Yeah, so it's just for me a stretch that you would kill your parents and your brother.
That he wasn't treated cruel, but he was off. I haven't read the books, but this is from people who have. And he wasn't mistreated or treated cruel. He was just often overlooked.
Okay.
And this was, and part of it was revenge for always being overlooked, like not realizing his actual value and worth.
Okay.
But I also think part of it was he seems to be the type that can kind of see where things are going. And yeah, it worked out for him. He got revenge on his father and brother. He got Alicent in his pocket now. And he takes out one of the lords that could turn the tide in the war, if there is one, which, let's be honest, we know that one is coming.
Yeah.
And
he's Lord of Harrenhal now, right?
And now he's Lord of Harrenhal, and therefore he's Lord of the Riverlands. So there's that.
Yeah. So he's playing chess while everybody else playing checkers.
Yeah, that whole thing was just kind of.
We'll see his motives later.
Yeah.
But I doubt if he actually takes that position, because he want to stay in the court.
Yeah.
So he'll probably get someone. It probably won't be the Tullys, because I think the Tullys are in the Targaryens' court, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So let's go to that. Let's go to the table.
Why was Alicent there?
Right. Yeah, I was confused. And then, okay, I'm gonna be nice because I want to call her all kind of names. And then you state, what you would like to do, but you get upset when they listen to Rhaenyra. I'm sorry. She been in that room a long time, pouring tea, listening to these men, giving her comments. Again, she is going to be queen when this man falls out in 2 days.
Right.
I mean, but where are you coming from? And then get snooty when they say, yeah, that's something we should do. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bitch, go make a quilt. That's what I want to say. Go make a quilt.
The issue they were talking about, she basically says, ignore it. We're not worried about their little stuff. And then Rhaenyra's like, no, actually, these motherfuckers are looking for reasons to kill each other.
Like, but
we need to step in and not let that happen.
But when did you come on the council, though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
That we should value your opinion.
I will say this, I think, and I understand the reason for time jumps, and especially if at the time they didn't know that they were going to get a second season. But I feel like a lot of the things that happened in this episode, I would have liked for them to have explored just a little bit more, not just here in King's Landing, but like the whole marriage and that situation with Daemon and Laenor. I would have loved to have seen them explore that a little bit more, especially since in the book, it appears that Laenor and Rhaenyra actually had a great friendship while Laenor was, while basically they're in-laws. And they had a great relationship. They had a great friendship. And I would have liked to have seen them explore that a little bit more. But yeah, the whole thing with Alicent, like, how did she get to the table? Why does she get so bitter? Like, I understand, yes, you're mad because your son is not the heir. I understand, yes, you're mad because this person that you trusted betrayed you in your mind. Again, Rhaenyra never told her a lie. She answered the questions that you asked her.
She did.
But I would have liked to have seen more of Alicent's ascent. Like, how does she get to where she is? And how is it that she takes Sir Larys in her confidence? Like, I think there's a little bit more exploration they could have done prior to this episode. And then I think that would have made things, I don't know, make a little bit more sense.
Oh, no, it makes sense.
It makes sense, but I would have liked to have seen, I would have liked to have seen more exploration about it.
And they did say with having another season, they welcomed the young ladies back so they maybe can do like flashbacks or explore.
Oh, okay.
They talked about that. They talked with the stars about that, and they like, that that could be something that happens.
Okay. See, I hadn't heard that, so that would be good.
They may not be done.
They may.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
I'm for it.
But I do understand the time jump, and I get it because I know how she did it. She was like, let me rub your elbow.
You mean your arm that's gone?
Just think maybe it'd be, let me just sit on the council with you guys. I just want to be all the help that I can be. Don't you think, honey? And he probably like, yes, you come sit. Let me help you sit down in the chair and fluff your pillows.
She's doing better than Bixby, who can't keep up with the conversation. So we're not talking about that. We moved on from that, sir.
Yeah, he looks like he needs to retire.
So she asked to be on there. So
and
that
then
she knows what's going on.
Oh, Daemon left the reason undefended. No,
we
left
did.
the reason undefended.
Yeah, like we are the crown.
Right.
Yeah.
Daemon actually got the land back for us.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't the king because he gave was she not there in the throne room when that happened? She was there when Daemon gave his crown to King
Viserys. Yeah.
She was there. So Daemon is not responsible for the stepstones.
Yeah.
So
the crown.
I don't know.
But anyway, she wanted to throw everybody on the bus, not realizing you really don't know what you're talking about. No. This is why Rhaenyra over there is like, bitch.
Right. Like, this is what we need to do. These are the people we need to ask because they will know where the boundaries are, blah, 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 blah. Like, she has been paying attention. This is the country that she is going to rule. So why would she not know what's going on and the best way to approach things?
But you do.
And one of the first lessons Daemon taught her was you got to be amongst the people to know what the people feel and think.
Mm-hmm.
And she was there when little boy Blackwood put a sword through big boy Bracken. She knows that they don't get those families do not get along.
Right.
So I don't know. But she came up with Rhaenyra came up with a good plan. I mean, she spoke from the heart. I don't know what's going on between us. However, it'd be nice if your daughter marries my son and they can rule the kingdom.
I don't think
give him a dragon egg.
Yes.
I'm gonna say I don't think that was as sincere as she made it out to seem. I think she was trying to do some damage control because of the
I think she was
rumors.
sincere in this because she's trying to cover her shit up. I do. That's what I meant, sincere. I'm completely sincere because I need this shit to end.
Yeah. But speaking of which, okay, so let's talk about these kids, because we need to talk about how Aegon Targaryen had a very different use for that window than Tommen did.
He had the same idea as Homelander.
That's what I thought. When I saw this, I was like, really? So we just jacking off at the top of the castle now? Like, where is that going to land and who is it going to land on? Like, this is so gross. Why would you even do that? But when his mother comes in and catches him, she's more concerned about the fact that y'all done pranked your little brother. I was like...
And he couldn't even focus. Like, what? What are you asking me? I don't know. The other kids.
Her mind was somewhere else. Did you not realize what your son was doing? Like,
I think she realized she probably just didn't care, because again, at this point, this is where we see, I don't want to say how cruel she is, but we see how much of the things that her father said to her has stuck with her. Because when she talks about Rhaenyra being queen, and you don't want to challenge, he was like, I don't want to challenge. He was like, I don't care. Because she says, well, Rhaenyra will be queen and Jacaerys will be her heir. And he was like, so? He really doesn't care.
That's great.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
He's like, Daemon, I don't want no, well, not like Daemon, but he's like, I don't want no part of that.
No.
I should have a good time. I let him jack that dick off over the city.
Right. Because then when she says, if Rhaenyra ascends, your life could be forfeit. Aemon's too, if she sees you as a challenge to her success, her succession. And he says, so I won't challenge her. He really doesn't give a fuck about this.
No, he does not.
And that's her fault, because if she really meant it, she would have raised him that way. But she obviously did not raise him that way.
No.
She was too busy.
And he's a child.
You know what? She was too busy caught up in her own stuff.
Yeah.
To have raised him to be the man that she wants him to be.
Yeah.
And now she's trying to force it, and he's like, I don't care. And
you'll see that's the kind of king he's gonna be. he don't give a fuck.
I mean,
she was like, I was like, man, what happened to the, decency you used to have?
Right.
All up in the kid's face. I mean, poking his chest out and all.
Right. And again, okay, so this is what creeped me out about that scene. You're sitting here poking at him and touching him. This dude was just jacking off in the window.
He didn't care.
You don't know.
She didn't care.
Anyway,
she's just mad that he doesn't understand.
She had a point.
What is going on,
and she wanted to make sure she made her point.
Yeah, and she mad he doesn't get what's going on.
But again, like you said, you didn't teach him.
That's her fault.
And I think part of that may have been because for a while, like she said, she wanted to believe that Rhaenyra would be a good queen, because remember, even when her father was leaving, she was still in support of Rhaenyra being the heir. I think what probably started turning the tide for her, like really, was when Rhaenyra started having these brown-haired children. Yeah, I think that's probably...
Rhaenyra was still doing what she wanted to do.
And she can't do what she wants to do, so...
Exactly.
This is not fair.
Rhaenyra is laying up, making children with Sir Breakbones, this fine specimen of a man over here, and you got this king who is very visibly falling apart. Like you said, he's missing an arm. I don't know how I missed that the first time I watched it. He's missing an arm. His hair is very stringy. He's going bald. He's very bruised. He looks gross. And at this point, I think Alicent is she's supposed to be late 20s, maybe early 30s. And this is what you're stuck with. Yeah, I would probably be a little bitter too.
Yeah.
But I mean, such is life. You made yourself indisposable to the king, granted at your father's insistence, but it did what you want. It did what y'all wanted to do.
What y'all thought? What did you think was gonna happen?
I don't know.
I don't think she knew.
I mean, kind of know something was gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
So,
well, she just assumed that once Rhaenyra got married, that she would do what she did and just do her duty and have babies with Sir Laenor, and she didn't.
Yeah, but if Sir Laenor ain't the type of man to be making babies, then what is she supposed to do?
That's true.
I mean, I understand wanting to try. And I mean, he even said it when they walked on that beach. He was like, it's not for lack of trying. He just he just prefers men. And I'm sorry, if he prefers a man, ain't no woman gonna get it up for him. Yeah. Even if he does what you suggested, Anthony, and I know this was something that Marjorie has suggested to Rinley.
Really, yeah. That's
you can get him aroused. You know, you can bring in somebody to get him aroused, but when it comes time to actually complete the act, he's still got to be able to perform.
Right.
No, you just get him to the point where it's about to happen. You just ram it in.
No, he's done. He's done. And they picked someone that she cared about, and they said, let's be consistent and make sure all these kids are from the same man.
Right. So anyway, let's come away from the red.
But wait, well, stepping away is probably right. That's probably why Daemon got the hell out of there.
Okay, so about that, they don't touch upon this in the show, but apparently in the books, the reason why he is not home is because when he and Lady Laenor got married, they did so without the king's permission. Right. So once again, he has been banished. Like, he tried to go back to the Vale. He tried to claim what was
Lady Rhea.
Yes, he tried to claim.
Rejected by
Lady Rhea. And he got rejected. He and Laenor got married, and they've pretty much been kind of, traveling different places. And right now they're in Pentos. They have 2 beautiful twin girls, and she's pregnant with her 3rd. And
now, I'm interested to know why. I know they didn't get permission, but like after the fact, I don't see why he wouldn't be okay with it.
Because you once again did something your king did not permit you to do. You're continuing to be defiant to your brother, who is supposed to be your lord. So yeah, I think at that point, Viserys probably was like, no, y'all can't come back. I mean, I don't know, because again, they don't really touch upon it in the show. But like I said, in the books, apparently he and Laena were still in touch with Rhaenyra and Laenor, because she, the 2 women, they became very close. Mm-hmm. They were constant companions, apparently. And, in the book, Rhaenyra, her maester was the one who came to try to help out when Laena went into labor. And then when she died, she was there with Daemon to help him grieve. But of course, we don't see any of that in this episode. And that's one of the issues I do have with this episode, because you introduce us to the family, you introduce us to Laena, you introduce us to the girls, and you give us this view of Daemon as a family man, which is very unexpected, but also I think it was a very good, exploration of who he has become in these 10 years. We've seen Daemon as selfish, we've seen him as rash, we've seen him as uncaring. And it's obvious from this episode that he really cared about Laena, even though things are kind of strained between them right now. But you can tell just the little things that he does. I believe he does love his wife. And, somebody was like, how do y'all feel about seeing this side of Daemon as a family man and a father? I said, this is what happens when you are allowed to choose your wife instead of someone choosing for you. This is what we see. And for us to get her and to see this relationship and then to lose her so quickly, that was one of the things that I did not like about this episode. And I don't think it has anything to do with, it doesn't have anything to do with something other than the storyline, but I do know people will probably look at it as such. She is a young Black woman. And she's all of a sudden, already, there's already this discussion about diversity and fantasy and in our TV. She's one of the, children of one of the powerful people, one of the powerful families in the show. And we literally get her for 2 episodes. We got her, a younger version of her in the last episode, and then this version of her, and then we lose her. And then obviously, we've already talked about the fact that we know that Daemon and Rhaenyra end up together. So that tells me that Laenor's death is not too far behind. So it's just, they could have given us a little bit more of this, especially since she seems to balance him out so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she was also telling him at the end, you dim your fire. I need your fire to get started again.
Yeah,
but man, not
married. You're not the man.
Yeah, I need you to
right.
Up a little bit. You over here trying to be the, the family guy.
And I'm like, Conco, I hate that. Well, I want to say hate. I don't like the fact that she's reduced to a plot device. She's reduced to the thing to get Daemon back on path to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
She's been used as a plot device from the beginning, to be honest with you. So let's go on. You want to do episode 2? She was used to move forth this wedding, marriage.
I wasn't gonna go.
Okay. Just saying.
I wasn't ready for the.
She was 12-year-old girl who was,
about
to marry the king, which he should have married anyway. But
I'm not gonna get on the soapbox. I'm not.
At least her hair looked good in this episode.
Yes, it did.
We were
yes,
gonna
it
talk about that.
Yes,
we said we could talk about that because
that first episode,
this actress got in there and said, we're not doing this.
And the children.
Yeah, and the children.
She made sure they got some right stuff because her hair and the kids' hair looked good. Spectacular.
Mm-hmm. But that first episode, it was a mess when her and her brother was young.
Yeah, but I think I would like to believe that this actress took it upon herself to make sure it was right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm sure she saw the dailies. I'm sure she was there. She's like looking like, not when it's my turn.
No, she looked beautiful.
Because she was
gorgeous. She was gorgeous. And,
I'm sorry, I like how she went out. So it was different. She had a choice. And I guess that was the choice that we wanted for, and I forgot her name now.
Emma,
the choice that Emma should have had. Because Daemon couldn't even make the choice. He was like,
he wouldn't make the choice because he was like, when they told him we could try to cut the babe out, and he was like, will the mother survive? And when the maester said no, he looked at her and he was like, And again, that's the thing where I'm like, we see that Daemon, even though they had their moments in this episode where you could see that there was tension and you could see he was probably getting irritated, she never took that personal. She still, supported him. And she was like, okay, look, I realized this ain't the life that you wanted. I'm probably not even the wife that you wanted. And he was trying to like Lena, and she was like, no, I'm good. But this is what I need from you. This is who you were supposed to be. This is the man I married. And I think that, that was just one of those things where he probably realized, okay, you know what? She really does love me, not for what I can do or be for her, but because of who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he loved her too.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it, especially when he is faced with that choice, literally the same choice that his brother had. And he was like, I'm not making this if it's going to kill her. And at that point, I think that's when she was like, oh, y'all over there trying to make decisions for me? No, I already told you I want to go out like a dragon rider. If I'm about to die, I'm about to go die the way that I choose to die. And poor Vhagar, because he was not about to, she was like Dracarys, and he's looking at her like, bitch, no.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing this.
Vhagar's a she.
Oh, well.
Oh, okay.
Vhagar, she wasn't feeling that. She wasn't feeling that. She was making noises like, no, not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
But I think she could probably feel that Laenor was not gonna make that regardless. And I don't know what the issue was, whether or not the baby was breech. I know that in the books she actually did give birth to a son, but it was malformed and twisted, kind of like Daenerys's son with Khal Drogo. So and the baby died like right after birth, and then she died, I think maybe 3 days later. But I was just like, y'all could have gave us one more episode with them. Just one more episode. You got a whole second season coming. We got time. And y'all knew y'all were going to get a renewal. Come on. It's Game of Thrones. Y'all knew there was going to be a renewal.
They did. But I think they have, I think they know what they want to do. And they're just trying to get us there.
Yeah.
Because
I know the focus is going to be the kids. I know that.
Well, the focus is going to be the dragons.
Well, that too, but the war with the kids
about dragons. But yes,
but the war between the kids is what. Yeah,
that's where we're going. But they really want to get to the dragons.
And between the two mothers.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Because I need someone to whoop somebody's ass.
Those HBO executives, I've said this 1,000 times and keep saying it. They're saying, are there Targaryens and are there dragons? That's all they know about Game of Thrones. They want to see dragons and Targaryens. They don't care about the zombies. They want to see the dragons.
Yeah. But so with Daemon and Laena's children, of course, like I said, they have twin girls. So one of the kids is also without a dragon. And again, we don't know why this happened. So we see Queen Alicent's second child, and then this particular Aemon, yes, doesn't have one. And that poor little girl, because she's still sitting there holding the dragon egg in the fire,
singing to
it, trying to get it to open, trying to get it to hatch, and it's just not. And she makes a mention of the fact that Daemon ignores her. And I'm like, is he ignoring her because she's not a dragon rider? Like they don't really say. And of course, we only see him interact with one of the girls during the episode where he's reading her a story, or he's reading her a book, and it's the twin. I can't remember which one. It's the twin that has the dragon. And then when you see them at the end after their mother has died, the girls are crying on the bridge, and he looks at them and he turns away from them. And I think he was just too much in his grief that he didn't know how to console them. But I just want to know, like, so is he treating her different because of the fact that she doesn't have a dragon?
Probably so. If you think about, we've talked about this before. Dragon riders are different. Like, they're different.
Yeah. Sarah's talked about that too,
And he feels connected to her because she's going to be a dragon rider. Right. That's a true Targaryen in his mind. To be a true Targaryen is to be a dragon rider.
Okay.
It's not fair. It's not fair. And that's why he views his brother as weak.
Yeah.
It isn't fair.
Those girls are gorgeous.
They are.
But I want to say I do enjoy Daemon and give me her name because it's Laena's date night.
Oh, you mean her riding that dragon while she's 9 months pregnant? Right. I was impressed. I was like, hello.
They enjoy their little date night, riding their dragons.
Oh.
So, I don't know. I know just looking at people's comments throughout social media, looks like most people hated the time jump, but I understood the
Yeah.
time jump. I did.
I like the time
and
jump.
I did too, because sometimes we just have to look at the things that they put in front of us to understand what happened in the 10 years. They told us a lot. That other little stuff we may get later.
Yeah.
We may not, but we understand the gist of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they could have like spanned this episode, 2 episodes actually.
Yeah.
Of the drama that was going on. However, the time jump, it was time. Because what would the next episode be if we didn't have a time jump? Like the first time, she's having a baby, the first baby, or how she fell in love, how she got
Harwin.
And what else?
No, there's no dragons involved. We gotta see.
Well, it is, because we can put the dragon in baby's crib, and we can see the dragon hatch and the training of the dragon. But it's time to move forward.
They would say, go back and watch Game of Thrones and watch her hatch those dragons in training. That's what you want to see. We got a little bit of training in this episode.
A little bit.
The kids don't know High Valyrian because they have a translator.
Right. So right.
I don't know if she's not teaching them High Valyrian. Maybe they can't. I don't know. Maybe High Valyrian can only be spoken by Targaryens.
Oh, see, that's not.
Oh, I didn't. No, that wasn't my intention.
No,
that wasn't my intention. They just don't have the capacity to speak High Valyrian.
But we got a lot of information about dragons. We got that only half of them actually hatches, and that you can create a bond with another dragon later on.
Yeah, because they told us about Viserys riding Valerian. He didn't ever read a dragon, but he actually got to bond with Valerian and ride him before he died. So.
And then how
and that you can create a dragon from a pig with wings.
What did he call it? Was it the pink dread? I mean, what
the pink dread? That poor baby, but I was like,
Laenor didn't have a dragon until she got Vhagar.
And if I went back and watched that little piece of episode 2 where she was courting the king at 12. I'm just reminding everyone of that. That's what she was
11.
Oh, she was 11 then. I'm sorry, 11. When she was courting the king, and that's what she was talking about how Vhagar was missing and where was she. And it's just interesting later on when she gets older, that's who she bonds with.
Because I think she said what, 15? 15 was when she
15 years old.
Okay. So
and spoiler alert, if you look at the trailers, the dragon goes missing.
Again.
Stolen.
Yeah.
No, stolen.
So,
yeah. Daemon's gonna be mad, so I'm just letting y'all know.
Yeah, I have that feeling too, but I haven't gotten that far in the book, so I don't know what happened or who stole her or why or anything. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and just watch. Anthony's looking like, yeah, I'm gonna let it unfold and find it. So let's see what else. Oh, so I love the fact that everybody keeps comparing Aemon Targaryen to Mike from Stranger Things with a blonde.
Oh, yes.
But the interesting thing is that young actor is the son of David Tennant.
How did that conversation go with David Tennant? Hey, Dad, they're gonna have me stand in the window checking my.
I don't think that was him. That had to have been that had to have been a body double. I just don't see that being the first major. No.
And David Tennant going, you know what? I've done worse. You'll be all right, kid. You'll be all right.
Oh, Sir Criston,
No.
It's on in the background. I'm just looking at it. Like when he grabs Jacaerys to spar with Aegon, he literally grabs him from the front and drags him. I was like, you doing this shit in front of the king, regardless of how you feel about these kids, that's still the king's grandchild. Right. Like, what the fuck?
So is he the he can't be the commander of the Kingsguard, can he?
I think he is.
Then where's what's his name? Is he dead? Like that was a waste of talent to have him on the show.
Oh, Graham and
what was the point of him even being? He had like 3 lines.
I don't know, but I'm like, where's my boy? So I don't know. I don't know.
That I'm sorry, that was pointless. And even if he is, I don't know. I think it would have been better. This is one of those situations where the hand should have stepped in and said, you know, there are other knights who can train these kids.
Mm-hmm.
He has better things to do with his time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I really think, and even Harwin didn't even need to be there. He's supposed to be running the Night's Watch.
Yeah,
so
I think
one of them should have been involved in the situation. I know I'm looking at it from a different perspective, and I know that it's drama and theater and all that, but practically speaking, neither one of them really should have been involved in any of that.
And like you said, with the hand, you know, he should have stepped in and said something. I think Sir Lionel was really trying to, or Lord Lionel, I think he was really trying to distance himself from that situation because of the fact that there's already rumors that those children are his grandchildren. I think he was probably trying not to show any favoritism or put himself in a position to where that would be questioned.
Yeah, but it's not even really favoritism. It's like, oh, King, you have a specific, you're trying to put them together so they can grow up together and befriend each other. But you have them in a situation where one knight is having them antagonistic against the other group with the other knight. So you just, it's like common sense. I know what you're saying, that he didn't want to be, but that's not really showing favoritism. It's like, yeah, just take these 2 grown adult men who don't seem to be interested in actually teaching them, get them out of there and put someone in there who can actually teach them.
Right.
And not have all this other drama going on. If anything, it's, you know, because of the rumors in the air, maybe we should remove them both from this situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That to me, and I know maybe Lionel was not thinking hard enough about it, but he is the most, what was it he said? The least self-interested person that has been giving him advice.
Yeah.
That is a very least self-interested move.
Yeah.
To say, yeah, send these busters out, you know, or send them somewhere else to be trained. Because that's what most of the lords did at the time. They didn't really train their kids there. They sent them off. Like Robert and Ned went to the Vale and trained under Lord Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they, you know, they weren't in Storm's End and they weren't in the North. They were off somewhere else.
Right. Oh, and I was gonna say, I have it playing in the background. So we were talking about earlier Alicent's, you know, what is her motivation for pursuing this issue about the children's parentage? When Lionel is having his conversation with Harwin, he says, you know, you have opened us up to, you know, these rumors, and if true, they will only result in exile and or death for you, for her, and the children. So yeah, Alicent is clearly trying to get them out of the way.
Yeah, clearly.
But
it also explains why Rhaenyra had never gone to Dragonstone, because Harwin wouldn't be able to follow her there. He would have. She stayed there to keep her. She stayed in King's Landing to keep her relationship with Sir Harwin.
Yeah,
and to keep herself in the game at the table.
Yeah, I
think
think
he did say that because he said that he was like, "You said if you left, that she will be able to say whatever she wanted to say or do whatever she wanted to do." Correct.
That's what Laenor says to her. Yeah, because
so that was another reason why she did too. She had to keep control of this situation.
But then, as soon as Harwin is gone, she leaves. So how much of a motivation to be that buffer between her dad and Alicent?
Well, I think part of that too is,
but the gossip is hot. It's too hot now. It's hot.
And she doesn't have her protector there.
Yeah, the third child has now put you on the ledge.
Yeah, so and her protector is gone. And at this point, she doesn't even realize it's a permanent thing now because she's thinking, okay, you're going to Harrenhal. Okay. You know, she's telling the kids, we'll still keep in touch with him. And it's so funny because Jacaerys is like, is he my father? And she literally won't answer him.
She didn't answer him.
Right.
They're Targaryen, and that's all that matters.
And that's all that matters. Looking at how they looking at each other.
He's old enough to put two and two together.
Right. Sir Harwin kissing the baby before he leaves, you know, before he's banished. And
the fact that he even asked the question tells you he already knows the answer.
Mm-hmm. They hugging each other through their eyes.
He was just looking for confirmation.
Right. So
he gonna get his confirmation when she finds out that Harwin is dead.
Oh,
confirmation.
Yeah, probably so. But I mean, as long as Laenor is still there, you know, like you said, he is treating these children like they are his own flesh and blood.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe back then that's all that matters. But again, like I said, we already know that at some point in the story, she and Daemon are going to get together. We don't know when, we don't know how quickly, but Laenor is. And also because of the fact that the conversation that he had with her, he's ready to go back out to sea. He's ready to go back out and be a warrior, be a fighter. He was like, I've been here for 10 years. I've done what you've asked me to do. I'm ready to go get back out there. He's not going to last that long. I don't think.
He's not the same Laenor when they got married.
Yeah.
Like, that Laenor was a warrior.
Yeah.
Want to fight.
Yeah, but now he been going to parties. I mean,
getting
siestas and stuff. So yeah, he's not into fighting.
No.
But I mean, he's probably been doing that because I mean, regardless of whatever arrangement he and Rhaenyra have, as far as you know, you pursue your own things, I pursue my own, my own things. He's still living half a life. Because he's not doing what he's supposed to. He's there stuck in the castle. He's there stuck being her husband, being, playing the role that he really doesn't want to play. He wants to be
having a good time though too on the side. He having a good time. She listed all stuff he was doing.
Yeah, that's true. But still, you having fun because you trying to escape the misery of the life that you have. Not saying that his life with Rhaenyra is miserable because apparently they have a good enough relationship that it's not it's not like a Cersei and Robert type thing.
Oh no.
But that's still not where he wants to be. That's not what he wants to be doing. He doesn't want to have to be playing pretend. And I can understand that when you're being stuck having to do and say and be what people expecting you to do, say and be, then yeah, you might go out and indulge a little bit more because that's the only way you can escape that,
And even when they were packing up to go to Dragonstone, she said, "Oh, you can bring him too."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And of course they were in the yard, so she had to add that addendum. We're gonna need all the swords we need because she knows that's probably about to be war. But boy, when she finds out Sir Harwin is dead, I feel for.
I feel. Alicent is gonna get a butt whooping.
You know what?
So do we know the title of the next episode?
They're gonna come to blows.
I don't think so yet.
No. However, let's talk about the staff member of the month. The Hand who tried to quit but couldn't. Yeah.
Well, he was in the same position that Otto was in.
Yeah, but because he's been so honest, he was like, I just can't do this. But he wouldn't tell. You're not gonna tell on his son. But Alicent over there on the side, just say it. She was back there, say it. I was
like, why are you even in here? He came talk to the king.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, okay, sometimes you're supposed to leave because they have to have conversations without you. But now she just stood there like, yeah, tell me to leave because I'm
It's
not.
one of those situations where it's like we always talk about how, women in those older times are treated at like, oh, you're not important. You're not the king. This is one of those times where I was like, bitch, you ain't the king. Get the fuck out.
Yes, get out. And she just over there like, say it.
She waiting for him to say it. Yeah.
And when he said, I cannot, she said, damn. And then she turned around and walked off.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, some shit's about to happen.
Oh, it's about to go down.
But I just wonder at what point they're going to take season 1 to, and then at what point season 2 is going to pick up. I'm assuming this is just my, no, I'm not going to assume. Because I know that the shit that starts with the family starts not too far from this particular point, because I think some of the kids are still kind of young-ish, like maybe in their late teens when all the stuff starts popping off. But
I think they gotta get a little bit older.
Okay.
They have to.
Okay. Here's
we got other stuff happen too.
Yeah. Here's my other question: what the hell is going on with Princess Rhaenyra? That child is weird.
She's a little odd.
She's sitting there talking. Bugs. Yeah. I was like,
and then like her mom touched her and she kind of flinched and stuff. So I'm like, well, do they not have a good relationship? It just seems.
I just think she.
Oh, you know what? Okay. Thinking about it in modern terms, maybe she has a form of autism or neurodivergent.
She's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she's neurodivergent.
Okay, so that would make more sense. Yeah. That would make more sense because I didn't even notice the touch thing. I was just like, the way that she was talking about the bugs, she was so monotone.
Yeah, it's
almost like she was drugged.
It was how she was talking about the bugs.
Yeah,
that was her focus. It's almost like there was nothing else going on.
Okay, so that makes a little more sense because at first I thought that she was drugged or that something. Okay, but now that you mentioned the touch, going back and replaying that scene in my mind, that makes a little more sense. Because it was strange because even while Alicent and Aemon were sitting there having the conversation, she just kept on about this bug. And I was like, what is it about the bug? I was like, is there something important about this bug? But okay, that makes a little more sense. Oh, okay. So since we were talking about bugs, Sir Larys has his little emblem, some kind of bug as well, right? That he has on his cane, and he had pins for his assassins. The ones that he sent to Harrenhal to burn out his brother and his father. And then we also saw another rat in the episode.
Yeah, in the king's room.
Yeah, and I need to go back and read because I know that the rats are supposed to be symbolic of something. But again, I've been trying to stay away from too much about the stories because I don't want to be spoiled, but we've seen rats in 3 episodes now, so I need to know what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
I need to know what the rats are supposed to be about. But I'm trying to think. Did we skip anything?
Oh, and one other thing was when the kids were all together and you saw the king's kid had on green, which I felt was really disrespectful. They should have on black and red. I'm just saying. But the whole episode they're wearing green. Okay, just saying. Just pointing that out.
Yeah. I mean, and Viserys has not noticed, which kind of makes me, but I don't know.
So Aemon sticking down to be with the dragon, and he had done it before.
Yeah, apparently he does this a lot.
Yeah, because he wants to be
a dragon,
right? Yeah. Right. So it's hard for him. But then I don't like what Alicent said, and I can't believe that they had an egg or their dragons hatched.
Right.
Oh, and then
why wouldn't they?
Wait a
they
second.
still have, no matter what, they have Targaryen.
And isn't she the same person that said, "I don't understand your obsession with those beasts"? Like, does she not understand how important the dragons are?
She probably does now. She probably does now, and that's probably, yeah. I mean, because if you think about it,
the king does it, but Viserys don't really. He ain't really into the dragons. He rode his dragon, it died, and he was done.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it at this point, dragon riding children, Rhaenyra is 2 to Alicent's 1. Because I think it's obvious. I think it's very obvious that Helena does not ride a dragon.
She's not riding a dragon anytime soon.
And we don't know if this
it'll be a dragonfly.
Yeah. But we also, we don't know whether or not this dragon egg for Joffrey will hatch. So I don't know. Maybe Alicent is noticing that, and she's just kind of, because again, the dragons are where the Targaryens get their power. So you got 2 Targaryens, but you only got 1 dragon. And she has 2, maybe Strongs or Valarians, and she has 2 dragons.
She counts her own dragon. That's 3. And then Laenor's dragon is 4.
Oh, yep. And then let's be honest. If it comes down to it, Daemon
has dragon.
Laena,
his daughter has a dragon.
Or Laena, when if she had lived, she would have been there. The daughter, yeah. So
and we're forgetting about Rhaenys has a dragon.
Rhaenys has a dragon. Yep.
I mean, they got a lot of dragons over there.
To her 1
right now, yeah.
So yeah, I guess she really is just jealous. I don't know. I mean, jealous and again paranoid. Which she probably has a reason to be, especially you've been treating Rhaenyra like shit now for the last 10 years. I would be scared too. Maybe if you had been a little bit kinder, or if you hadn't been so paranoid or whatever, you wouldn't have to be worrying about this thing. Because Rhaenyra does not strike me, or she did not strike me as someone who would just be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go kill my younger brother so I can ascend the throne. She doesn't seem like that. She's at that point now. Now, once we get to the next episode and we see that, or she learns that Sir Harwin is dead and Lord Lionel is dead, she's going to know that that's not just a coincidence. That's not an accident. I think she's smart enough to understand that. Now, whether or not she would think that Alicent had something to do with it, I don't know. But again, we don't know.
She would know it as soon as Sir Otto shows up to become the hand again.
Yeah.
Then that's going to be pretty, Alicent is floating around in this circumstantial evidence. Why can't Rhaenyra float around those circumstantial evidence?
Yeah, you're right.
Now your dad is back and he's the hand. That's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be some interesting stuff. And then just looking at the promo for next week, yeah, we finna get into the thick of it. With 4 episodes left in this season, we about to get into the thick of it.
We'll see. I will say that I have increasingly liked each episode. Like, they've gotten better for me. This wasn't a better episode than last week's, but this seems to be the most Game of Thronesy episode.
Okay.
Like, it seemed like this was right in the vein of what Game of Thrones is about. Like, really in the meat of it.
Okay.
There was just no sex though, which was odd.
You had childbirth twice.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It was framed in childbirth. Like it started with childbirth and it kind of ended with childbirth. Or not a birth.
Not a birth and two, three deaths.
Yeah.
I wish we could have gotten more of Lady Laenor though. That is the one.
And the deaths were by fire too.
Yep.
They're all by fire.
Yep.
And also dealing with what his conversation was at the end, Lars, about it was children.
About how children can make or break you or some
right.
Yeah.
And that sort of did at the end. It's making and breaking.
Foreshadowing, maybe.
Yeah.
Making and breaking everyone. So
okay. Did we forget anything?
I think we covered it. Everything.
Everything worth covering, I think.
Yeah. Alicent shady ass self. Yep.
Sir Criston bitch ass.
Yeah, Criston's bitch ass. Salty ass.
I kind of
Laenor's happy ass.
Daemon trying to change his life.
Getting back on track.
No, he was just trying to change his life. Find him an island to live on.
He's done with it.
I think he was just trying to get away from all the Westerosi politics. Yeah, he was like, I don't want to deal with none of this shit.
Yeah, and then like she said, like kids calmed him down. Because he even knew what was going on with Rhaenyra. He was like, haha, another kid from
That's because Laenor is writing to his sister. But yeah, that comment was funny.
Yeah, so he's like, he's been chilling. You know what I'm saying? He like his wife. He's and you can tell that he loves her because you look at how he just looks at everyone. Sometimes he looks at everyone with disdain.
Yes, the way he looks at her. Yes.
Like, he looks at Rhaenyra like he loves her. He even look at his brother like he loves him. But like she was coming up, he was sitting on the roof and he just had like that nice little grin on his face and he put up the pillow for her. And then she started fussing at him. He's like, damn, getting on my nerves of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's changed because he's come a long way from trying to angle his way into power to he's just trying to take care of his family.
Yeah. You know, children will change you in that way. And he's probably like, look, we are so far down the throne hierarchy now. Let me just go and just do whatever. So I can travel.
Prince Harry and Meghan.
I can come to Pentos and they will give me they will give me a castle.
Move to another country.
Right.
All that stuff behind. And they just living the life, having babies.
Right.
But now
I can live in Pentos. They will give me a castle. They will give me all of this land and all of the livestock. And I don't have to do anything but just be Prince Daemon.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do anything? And you know, she was like, no, I want to go back to Driftmark. He was like, hold up. Let's think about this for a second. Did you see the look on that little girl's face when he talked about betrothing her to one of the sons of Pentos? She was like,
what are we talking about here?
Like, I don't want to be married. No, but yeah, but something tells me that Daemon is coming home. I mean, he's got to bury his wife, so
yeah,
he's coming home, and I have a feeling that's just going to be the start of a lot of
Daemon Targaryen is coming home.
Oh my God. And on that note, that's it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fandom Hybrid. We have a Discord channel. Follow us at Fandom Hybrid Podcast. You can watch our videos on YouTube and listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.